Hello and welcome down to Silvermere Golf and Leisure Complex here in Surrey, where we're here today to put Yonex's claims about their graphite irons to the test. We've got 3 Golf Monthly readers arriving very shortly, and they're going to be testing their current clubs against Yonex's sort of graphite irons. And we want to find out, do the claims that Yonex make about distance and dispersion with graphite really work in real life? We've got launch monitor data to prove all the claims, and we're really going to see, is there any sort of proof in this pudding? First, let's hear from Darren, who is Yonex's sort of tech rep. He can tell us a little bit more about these shafts and sort of what the claims are, and then we'll sort of hear from our readers and see just how they got on and whether they really could sort of find more distance and control. It should be a great day. Let's crack on.
So golf is, as we well know, is a very macho game. Everyone wants to be using a still shaft. Everyone wants to be using a sort of a taut, stiff shaft, and graphite has always been looked upon as sort of an age-related sort of club. People think that when they get to 60, 65, they have to be using graphite, or it is just for lady golfers. Now, it's got nothing to do with age at all. You know, graphite, comes down to what your club head speed is, and depending on what your club head speed is, you need to be using the right sort of stiffness and the right weight of shaft. Someone that's using a steel shaft that is too heavy for them, bad shots they're going to get a low-lying ball flight where they're not compressing the club and the ball enough. They're going to be sort of leaving the club head behind a little bit, and they're going to get that sort of exaggerated sort of fade on the shot. So that lighter shaft allows the club head to sort of catch up a little bit quicker, compresses the club and the ball together, puts a bit more spin on the ball, keeps it in the air longer. We can also, because we're returning the club back to a squarer position, we get a crisper strike, so we're getting greater ball speed, a bit more spin and a bit more sort of carry because of that as well.
It's opened my eyes totally. I've never ever considered graphite for no real reason other than the fact that I'm a regular man and I'm a steel man, and experiencing the graphite experience and what it can do for a Joe standard, bog average golfer like myself, it is amazing. And I don't think I'd go back to steel from now. Squaring in the club face much better at impact, which has given me faster ball speed, and on an average 7-iron, 13 yards extra, which is incredible. It's not all about yardage for me, but 13 yards extra is amazing. I noticed that my height, which I now understand is my friend, was better, and my dispersions was left and right were much more compact. So overall, amazing.
He could make the clubs work, but the clubs just weren't quite performing for him. He wasn't able to maintain the club head speed with the steel shaft, so there was a big difference, of around about 15%, between his slower swing speeds and his faster swing speeds. Put him into graphite, instantly made it just so much more consistent with the club head speed. He was able to square the club face up just a lot better at impact, giving him a better ball strike, faster off the club face, which was then giving him 13 yards in distance and gain.
My old clubs, I've been with them a while, old friends, but they're old hat. Today, the clubs just felt a different universe. They were so much lighter. You could feel the club head. The dispersion when I hit the ball was nice. The sound off the club was nice. The whole feel of the club was nice compared. I'm not knocking my old ones, but these were just so much nicer. They're easy on the eye, they don't look that fat. You can't see the cavity on the back of them when you're hitting, you just see a top line. It's not off-putting at all, it's quite a pleasant club to hit. I must admit that I was well surprised. So
Bill's got a set of clubs that are probably a good 12 years old now. He's getting this low sort of flat ball flight. He tends to lose the ball sort of a little left to right as well, so that lighter graphite shaft again allowing the club head to square up. Club face at a better angle, compressing the ball more. We improved the ball speed off the club face by 7 miles an hour, but that also then gave us 11 yards in distance, which, for Bill, that's just over a club longer. But where he's hitting it so much higher, he's getting greater control once the ball hits the green as well.
The combination, the technology of Yonex making their own clubs, putting a higher graphite count, making a more stable shaft, the fact that they make all 3 components of the grip, the head and the shaft, making sure all the balance is there. When you put it in your hands, it actually feels a much more balanced club. You can feel it, and it feels it through the swing and through contact as well. From the numbers, the dispersion with this was much tighter than with the current club. So I got a distance increase, but it was a distance with a much tighter dispersion.
Les was suffering a little bit from hitting the ball sort of right to left. Again, that could come down to sort of the lie angle. We did the lie angle check, and the heel of the club wasn't digging into the ground, returning it back to a flush position. The big difference that sort of helped him, that stopped that ball from going to the left with the XPG, was the counterbalance technology in there. So with it being weighted both ends, made it so much easier for him to keep the club working as a unit through impact, and a lot straighter, higher ball flight because of that.